welcome to virtual orientation. I'm excited to be with you. My name is Dan Murphy, and I serve as the Director for Student Orientation and Transition Programs. On behalf of all of our students, faculty, and staff, I would like to welcome you to Penn State. We're excited that you all have chosen Penn State to continue your education. I want to start your orientation off with a big thank you to both our new students and your families joining us today. Orientation is a very important step in your transition to Penn State, and we're eager to get started. I also need to acknowledge that this is not exactly how we hoped to kick off your Penn State career. We've worked hard to design a virtual orientation that provides you with a solid introduction to our university, but we know that this isn't the same experience you would have if you were visiting us on campus. However, our goals for orientation remain the same. We want you to feel affirmed in your or your student's decision to attend Penn State, to become familiar with the resources available to you to help you tackle the academic, social, and personal challenges and opportunities ahead of you, to make a connection with someone else, to be ready to tackle the business of being a student, and to begin to have conversations or think about the new family dynamic that will be the result of your transition to college. During your orientation, we will provide you with important information about the opportunities, support, and resources that are available at Penn State to assure your success as a student, as a member of this community, and as a person. Let's start with our new students. Your virtual orientation is a combination of real-time activities and events like this welcome and other self-paced activities that we expect you to complete over the next few days. This is the University Welcome, which is the kickoff to your virtual orientation. After watching this University Welcome, you must reply to the email that you received that gave you this link. Then, we'll work to get you started on your orientation Canvas course and to be connected with an academic advisor. We've used systems that you'll use as a student to prepare and deliver this orientation experience. These include Zoom, Canvas, and Starfish. But if you enter these systems independent of our instructions, you will not be connected to the correct people or places. So once more, use your task list to move through the steps of orientation. If you have an older sibling, friend, or cousin who is a Penn Stater, please take it from me. Their orientation experience was different, and they use these systems differently as a current student than you will during orientation. Soon after viewing this welcome, you'll enroll and complete a Canvas course that is specific to your Penn State campus. Canvas is Penn State's learning management system, which is really just a fancy way of saying that Canvas is where you will spend a lot of time as a student doing things like accessing course syllabi, communicating with instructors, reading and responding to course discussion posts, and submitting your work. We'll provide an introduction to Canvas that will help you get familiar with the tool while also helping introduce you to Penn State and your campus or college. We expect that it will take you about 3 to 4 hours to complete this course. You must complete it before your orientation advising appointment. Here are some of the things that we'll cover in the course: an introduction to out-of-class learning, our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, health and safety resources on campus, including alcohol and drug use and abuse, and sexual misconduct education and prevention, how to prepare for your academic advising meeting, and information specific to your campus. You will have access to the Canvas course throughout your fall semester, so feel free to return to it as often as you need to revisit any of the information included in the course. As part of your virtual orientation, you will schedule an individual meeting with an academic advisor. Academic advisors are very important to your success as a Penn State student. They are Penn State staff who can help you navigate your degree and semester course plans, as well as help to connect you to resources on campus. There's a section in your Canvas course that will help you prepare for your meeting with your academic advisor. You'll also be introduced to our course planning guide, which will help you learn about our degree requirements and how to navigate the university bulletin. Here are some notes about academic advising. During orientation, you'll meet with an academic advisor who works on your campus. The advisor you meet with will likely not be your assigned advisor for the academic year, but you will learn about how you can access information about your assigned advisor after orientation. This academic advising appointment is for the student only. In a few minutes, we'll discuss FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and how Penn State will work to strengthen our relationship with students. Orientation is a good test drive for starting that relationship. Students, everything I just talked about emphasizes the need for personal responsibility. You are now Penn State students, and with that comes certain expectations. Everything from following directions to getting to places on time to keeping your scheduled advising appointment is critical. Professors will not wait for you if you are unprepared or late for class, and orientation is a good practice run to being a student at Penn State. The pre-NSO homework you completed prior to orientation helped familiarize you with Lion Path. You probably also noticed that there was a hold preventing you from being able to enroll in fall courses. This new student orientation hold is in place to underscore the importance of making a first semester schedule in the context of an initial conversation with an academic advisor. While we're on the subject of course scheduling, I know that all of you, students and family members alike, may have questions about what your fall schedule will look like. Since the university made our announcement that we would be returning to limited in-person instruction this fall, our faculty have been hard at work developing plans for how they will teach your courses this fall. This could include in-person, a mixed mode, or online. In-person courses would meet as they typically do, but would incorporate health and safety protocols like masking and physical distancing. Mixed mode combines some in-person class meetings with online learning and will be listed in the schedule of courses with 2 locations, Zoom and a physical classroom building. Online classes may be taught synchronously or asynchronously based on the learning outcomes for each class. It's likely that all of you will have some online classes as part of your fall schedule. This will, of course, depend on what you plan to study and your campus of admission. New students to the University Park campus can expect that most of your classes will be scheduled to take place online, either real-time via Zoom or self-paced via Canvas. What this means for you will become more clear when you meet with an academic advisor later in your virtual orientation experience. Once you know what course options will be available to you this fall, you'll be able to make informed decisions about how you plan to start at Penn State. I'll have more information about your fall options later in this welcome. Now some information for the parents and families who are viewing. The only required synchronous part of this virtual orientation for you is this university welcome. I encourage you to support your student throughout orientation, but please remember to allow them to complete this information on their own. They do not benefit from having you do any of this for them. Earlier, I made a reference to FERPA and what it means for your student's relationship to the university. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk more about how FERPA also changes your relationship between you, your student, and the university. So now that I've welcomed you to your virtual orientation and provided an overview of what you can expect, we have a very special welcome for the class of 2024 from our president, Dr. Eric Barron.
As president of Penn State, I'm thrilled to welcome you to our community. You're now part of one of the world's top universities, with more than 95,000 students at 24 different campuses and the World Campus. We are one community, committed to outstanding academic programs, undergraduate research opportunities, and service to humankind. Although you may not have planned to begin your Penn State experience in this virtual environment, our new student orientation team has worked hard to prepare you for the opportunities ahead. We already know you can handle challenges. Your class has demonstrated resilience, flexibility, and maturity, and optimism as the world has dealt with the uncertainty caused by a global pandemic. These skills will serve you well at Penn State and beyond. As a Penn State student, you will discover new passions, explore new disciplines, and begin to make lifelong connections. And you can do it in a variety of ways, from classroom instruction to remote, hybrid, and online options. Penn State pioneered distance learning, and our Commonwealth campuses span the state. We continue to find creative and innovative ways to learn, research, and maintain community. No matter where you are, you will benefit from a renowned faculty and staff dedicated to helping you succeed. As you begin to make the choices that will shape your future, know that the university's core values, integrity, respect, responsibility, discovery, excellence, and community will help guide you. Our diversity is a key strength, and it's at the core of what makes Penn State great. Your journey starts today. I urge you to make the most of this virtual orientation experience. Ask questions, share your story. Your orientation leader is an upper-class student who is the first of countless faculty, staff, and alumni ready to help you achieve your goals. This is now your university. I hope you feel great pride in being a part of it. Thank you for choosing Penn State.
In the video, Dr. Barron mentioned the Penn State values: community, respect, integrity, responsibility, discovery, and excellence. I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce our community through the context of these values. You just heard that you're joining a community of 95,000 students spread out over 24 campuses and joined by worldwide learners all around the globe. That current student community grows quickly when you add in our staff and faculty and our proud Penn State alumni, who make up the largest living alumni network in the world of over 700,000. Not only are you joining the Penn State community, but for those of you at one of our 12 residential campuses, you are also joining the local community where your Penn State campus is located. Our campuses across Pennsylvania have unique charm and appeal, as do the communities in which they reside. These communities are full of students, staff, faculty, and neighbors who are eager to welcome and help you. This includes other new students you might meet during virtual orientation who have grown up in these communities and will be commuting to campus. And just like any community with expectations of behavior, we are a community of individuals learning about the world together when we make the decision to live and learn at Penn State. For that to work, respect is and must continue to be a cornerstone of what it means to be a Penn Stater. This means respect for your new community, both Penn State and your local community, respect for property on and off campus, respect for people, other students, staff, faculty, and community members, and maybe most importantly, respect for yourself. Each member of our community brings a story, a history, hopes, and ambitions for the future. As new members of our community, I ask that you embrace the opportunity to learn about your new neighbors, especially those who are different from yourself. Is this more challenging in a virtual orientation experience? Sure, but it's not impossible. When I pause to think about this incoming class, I think of how you have such a unique story. You were starting your Penn State career during a global pandemic and a period of national unrest over systemic discrimination and unjust racial disparities. As an institution of higher education, we have an obligation to fight ignorance and intolerance, embrace the power that diversity represents, and to model inclusivity. This reality is creating important opportunities for you to demonstrate a new kind of respect for everyone you encounter at Penn State. Take time during orientation to ask each other questions, learn from each other, and remember that everyone's story and experience is different. That's one piece of what makes joining the Penn State community so great, the opportunity to learn from so many other people. With all of the opportunities that will be available to you here, there will be plenty of opportunities to make choices about your experience. Penn State has high expectations for behavior and high expectations for students to act with integrity. Whether it be in the pursuit of an education that is free of academic dishonesty, discrimination, or bias, or where our community members feel safe on or near campus. The Student Code of Conduct outlines behaviors that are not consistent with these values of the university. And there has been a lot of conversation in the last few weeks about our code. This includes a recent announcement from President Barron that we will be undergoing a complete review of our Code of Conduct. While we don't know what changes might be made as a result of these conversations, the information I'm about to share applies to you now, will apply to you this summer, and will continue to apply to you in the fall. Some behaviors that are inconsistent with our values may be more obvious to you, such as theft, underage drinking, alcohol and drug abuse, harassment, stalking, sexual misconduct, and assault. While others may be less obvious, such as failure to comply with a request from a university official, joining a Zoom room for class or other activities where you have not been invited, providing false information, or causing disruption of university operations. During orientation, you'll learn more about the Code of Conduct, and eventually, you'll complete the Know the Code quiz. It's your responsibility to familiarize yourself with the code, but I'd like to highlight a few points. The Code of Conduct governs your behavior on campus, off campus, and online. It applies to all events affiliated with the university, like away football games and education abroad. It also includes an item we refer to as in the presence of, which also makes you a responsible party if you are found in the same space as someone else engaging in illegal or unwise decision making. You are now a Penn State student. The code of conduct applies to you now. The Penn State experience is also about responsibility. Personal responsibility is a theme of orientation. Personal responsibility in terms of making good decisions, being accountable for your actions, and taking the initiative to make the most of your education. Personal responsibility even comes in the form of regularly checking your Penn State email, which is our official mode of communication with you. And your Penn State email is now active. Students gain access to this tool during orientation. In these conversations, it's important to remember that we consider the student to be the responsible party. For many families, this can reflect a new relationship than has previously existed with the high school, with guidance counselors, tutors, athletic coaches, etc. The image on the screen illustrates this well, and I think represents what a communication pattern may have looked like for many of you. You can see the student is in the center of the conversations. As a high school student, parents and families, other people you interacted with regularly, all had the opportunity to talk with each other about your academic progress, class selection, conduct-related concerns, and more. In college, the support parents and family members provide is still there, but the communication network changes. Here, you will take on the central role in communicating with your parents and family members and the other people who can contribute to your success. The university will focus on strengthening our relationship with you. This relationship makes sense as college is a relatively safe place to learn to take on adult responsibility. This arrangement also is supported by a previously mentioned federal law, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA. FERPA gave parents or guardians the rights to control disclosure of your educational records as a high school student and transfers that right to you as a student in college. Now, I've mentioned educational record, and what exactly do I mean? It could be a lot of things, but at this point, I think it's best explained as grades, class schedule, and the tuition bill. This new graphic illustrates the new communication pattern. The student is still in the center, but as you can see, we are strengthening our relationship with the student. Parents and families, remember when I mentioned that this is the only part of virtual orientation for you? Well, FERPA is a part of the reason for that. It is important that your student begins to have these important conversations on their own. It is also important to note that this does not mean that parents and family members do not have any access. It just means a conversation as a family is important to make sure that everyone has the appropriate access to academic and financial information. I'm sure by now, every parent or family member watching has noticed the dotted line that connects other university officials and parents. FERPA does not prevent the university from contacting parents and family members when your student's safety or housing status is in question. We can reach out directly if your student is found responsible for any drug or alcohol violations, for situations resulting in your student's housing contract being at risk, if there's a pattern of misconduct that we feel you can be helpful in resolving, or potential life-threatening situations, including medical emergencies. We have developed 2 systems that will help families gain access to appropriate pieces of the educational record. You'll learn more about it during your orientation Canvas course, but in case you want to make a note to learn more, they are called Delegated Access and Authorized Payer. The Penn State experience is also about discovery. Discovering your place in your community, discovering your passion, discovering new ideas and perspectives, both inside and outside of the classroom. The knowledge, skills, and understanding that you will learn through your coursework, through your interactions with your peers, and your co-curricular involvement will not only benefit you, but society and the environment. Your Penn State education expands far beyond the walls of your classroom. You will learn nearly everywhere as a Penn State student, and that learning will help to prepare you in your coursework and future plans to solve problems that we don't even know yet exist, with technology that you will help develop. This discovery includes those out-of-class experiences that complement your classroom learning, things like community-based and service learning opportunities, embedded travel courses, study away and education abroad, internships, and participation in a learning community or undergraduate research. There are literally thousands of ways for you to be involved. Check out the Student Engagement Network or our student organization's website to learn how to get involved. Each of these values builds on the excellence that is Penn State. Orientation will provide you with a foundation through which you will not only succeed in your time at Penn State, but you will thrive academically, socially, and personally. Our virtual orientation schedule has been designed in a way to provide you further example of how these Penn State values will integrate with the rest of your Penn State experience. As new members of this community, you will have a choice in how you integrate these values into your daily life as a Penn Stater. I invite you to think about how these values will play out for you at Penn State. I do think it's important to pause, though, and acknowledge that not all Penn Staters make decisions in line with these values. College is a unique environment. We bring together thousands of young people from all over the world, either in person or virtually, and we ask them to navigate a wide variety of newfound freedoms and responsibilities. This reality reminds us of the critical importance of addressing the topics of alcohol and drug use, sexual assault, hazing, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the individual role that you play in keeping your community healthy. These messages have always been part of our orientation program, but we are renewed in our commitment to making sure that we are clear in sharing our expectations for you as members of the Penn State community, and that you have the tools to be successful, stay healthy and safe, and to look out for one another. I invite and expect you to be active participants in these conversations. You are joining a community committed to taking action, whether it be through our advocacy and support of the Timothy J. Piazza anti-hazing law, developing critical sexual assault reporting processes that we'll share with you during orientation, making masks, face shields, and other personal protective equipment for essential frontline workers, or engaging in ongoing conversations about campus and community safety. In support of the conversation that we had earlier about personal responsibility, the days of I didn't know and no one told me are behind you. You will be asked to make decisions every day that have a direct impact on your Penn State experience, the experience of others, and your community. In the coming weeks and months, some of the daily decisions you will have to make must be informed by guidance provided by the Center for Disease Control, the Pennsylvania Departments of Health and Education, and our university leadership. Last week, our university leadership announced specific details about the Back to State plan. There are specific requirements for all members of the community for this upcoming semester. Faculty, staff, students, and even our visitors must wear masks on campus and in the local community, practice good hand hygiene, and keep yourself physically distanced from others. These requirements are important to each person's health and safety, and we must be able to rely and count on each individual to meet these requirements. There's very detailed information about pre-arrival testing, expectations, and the Penn State Coronavirus Compact that each student must sign before they can join us on campus at virusinfo.psu.edu. We're asking that you do your individual part to make sure that we can get the Nittany Nation back together. And once we're back together, we will ask you to do your individual part to stay well and keep us together. Earlier, I introduced you to the different course delivery options for the fall: in-person, mixed mode, or online. You'll begin to see those as you continue to complete virtual orientation, especially when you begin scheduling your classes. To stay up to date on these class delivery options for the fall semester, visit keeplearning.psu.edu. When you arrive on campus, we will continue to build on the foundation that you've gained through this virtual orientation to continue your learning and what it means to join our community. Throughout the days, weeks, and months ahead, I hope that the values of community, respect, integrity, responsibility, discovery, and excellence will serve as your foundation. Earlier, I mentioned that it's the people that help to make Penn State Penn State. During this virtual orientation, you'll meet many people who are eager to welcome you to our university and help you get started. Soon, you'll meet your orientation leaders, and they'll outline in more detail what you can expect in your Canvas course. During that Canvas course, you'll see scenes from our interactive musical theater show, Results Will Vary. The cast of Results Will Vary are musical theater majors from our University Park campus who have written an interactive theater show for Penn State students by Penn State students. It'll be hard for us to pull off the interactive part of the interactive theater in this virtual environment, but the cast has prepared a special welcome for you, the newest members of Penn State.
Here's the story of Results Will Vary. I'll show you what I've seen at NSO. The students love the show like no other, though they were forced to go. Till the one day when the Rona screwed them over, and they knew the show would need a different touch. So instead That's the way we all became the Zoom U bunch, the Zoom U bunch.
This really sucks.
That's the way we became the Zoom U bunch.
What's up, everyone? I bet you're wondering who the hell are these people and why are they singing at me? We are the cast of Results Will Vary, a show written by Penn State students for Penn State students, not your parents. We'd normally be on stage, but thanks to Corona, we are coming to your screen. You're gonna see videos of us throughout your orientation, so if you love SNL, you'll probably tolerate us. See you around.
Recently, universities have suspended in-person classes and have shifted to remote learning. The results have been astounding, with students and professors alike raving about the positive impact of the transition. Here's what they are saying.
My sleep schedule is right back on track.
I've never been more on top of my mental health.
I get to spend more time with my family.
I've been able to live with my girlfriend.
I'm spending tons of time soaking up the sun.
I'm eating 3 nutritious meals every day.
I've thought of fun and creative ways to make money.
I'm working out every day.
I've really gotten to know myself.
See? Everyone is loving it.
I get to share a room with my brother again. Self-care is so important.
I've missed them so much.
We get to share everything.
I swear to God, eating my Domino's again?
It only hurts a little.
It's my cheat day.
This needs to end.
What should we do today, dearie?
We know none of us asked for this, but we are in this together, and soon enough, we'll all be back on campus. This has been a message from students who just want to get back to school.
Hey, seniors.
Hey, former seniors.
Oh, right. Former seniors. We're also former seniors.
Which means we also had a premature ending, to say the least.
We didn't get to walk at our graduation in May.
Or spend one last night hanging out with our friends.
I never got my last bubble tea.
And we can't imagine how much it sucks to lose senior prom.
And to everyone arriving in the fall, this has just been a scary and weird time, no matter what you were doing.
Okay, everyone. You've gotten out all your feelings about losing the end of your senior year and all that stuff about Zoom that sucks. But we gotta hit that positive ending.
There's nothing to be positive about.
Yeah, I just want to watch sports again.
Or eat at a restaurant.
Well, we gotta get some good news going. We gotta see the upside.
Upside?
No more crowded classrooms.
Pesky friends in your dorm room.
Or any room but your room.
So, who cares that you can't cut your hair?
You're at Zoom school.
Where the football star is you this year.
You're at Zoom school.
Where your hygiene can just disappear.
You love Zoom school, where you get to live with your parents in their home.
Alright, you're at Zoom school, which means that at 8 tonight.
Zoom school is not what you expected, but maybe it's what you need. And you'll be here in September, guaranteed.
Whoa. We don't know what's gonna happen, so don't tell them we do.
We're just trying to put a positive spin on it.
We've all heard enough spin for a lifetime. Okay, stop the upbeat music. Thank you.
At the beginning of this show, we normally tell you results will vary, that your college journey is unpredictable.
Every journey has adversity, some more than others, and this pandemic is not hitting everyone equally.
But when we're all back, whether that's digitally or in person, we can't wait to build a new way of being Penn State students together.
And showing you all the best parts of life at Penn State that haven't changed, no matter your campus, country, or IP address.
We are Penn State. And now,
So are you.
see you around.
You're logging on
to your Zoom wearing white and blue in your bedroom. Your mom is yelling in the back and your dog's on your lap. Here at Zoom you at PSU. Oh, the times sure are hard. Our senior spring was bizarre. Now ain't this some shit? This is some shit. But we made our decision. PSU is our mission here at Zoom you at PSU. Yeah, it's scary. Results did vary. But we can't let that make us frown. 'Cause we are Penn State, and we're bound to be great. So turn that frown upside down. Welcome to Zoom U, the greatest online school. Okay, maybe great is a stretch, but it's the best we can get. Zoom U. Okay, I think I'm through. I'm logging off of Zoom U at PSU.
I hope that you enjoyed that preview of what's to come. Students, you will see several clips of our 2019 Results Will Vary show embedded in your orientation Canvas course. Please watch each video and think about the message being delivered. They are meant to help prepare you for many situations that you'll encounter as a Penn State student. As a person in the business of welcoming new members to our community, I want to thank you all for being here. We appreciate your commitment to Penn State, and I look forward to supporting you through your journey at orientation and throughout your first year. We are very glad that you've chosen Penn State, and we cannot wait to welcome you in person when we can. Now, here are instructions for next steps. Families, you should check out our Penn State Parents and Families website at parents.psu.edu for specific information about support and programming available at your student's Penn State campus. Students, we need you to reply to the email that sent you the link to this video so that we can help you move on to your next steps. For now, we leave you with the alma mater. Welcome to Penn State.
For the glory of old state, for her founders strong and great, for the future that we wait, raise the song, raise the song. Sing our love and loyalty, sing our hopes that bright and free. Rest, O Mother dear, with thee, all with thee, all with thee. When we stood at childhood's gate, shapeless in the hands of fate, thou didst mold us, dear old state, dear old state, dear old state.